If you remember from the last video, I said the next one up would be the Battle of the Undefeated. A bit of apologies, there's a bit of delay on this. I guess there's going to be a quick plug, I suppose. In between now and then, I received my Sleeve Kings card sleeve Kickstarter order of several tens of thousands of sleeves. So the mammoth task was undertaken, and I'll just show you here every single one of my SoB Brimstone cards now has Sleeve Kings transparent sleeves on them, including the sort of character and enemy sheet cell ones are the right size as well. You can even write on those and like remove them with dry white wipers, which is useful. So that was a big task, took a while, but hopefully they'll be a bit more robust and stand up to all the trials and travails that they do over the lifetime of your game. But yes, it is the prophesised, as it were, the prophesised Beh'lial v Xiaoru, the two undefeated. So in one corner you've got this fella, the Dragon King Xiaoru. Lots of hits, really like 85 hit points. There's got like an AoE damage that damages everything on the board if they fail their agility rolls, and that kind of random shadow magic stuff as well. So that's Xiaoru. 12 combat, quite a lot of combat there. And in the other corner we have Beh'lial, last of the Shadow Kings. So less dice attack but does more damage per, and the interplay there is actually Xiaoru's basic attack only does a damage of 4, so it's going to bounce off Beh'lial's armour of, sorry, defense of 4, unless Xiaoru rolls a 6, because the Xiaoru itself has -1 defense on rolls of 6. So if it rolls a 6, it'll do a damage. The flip side, of course, is Beh'lial with the 6 damage is going to get through the 3 defense on Xiaoru. Beh'lial also is a potential summoner, it can bring in more mobs into the fights. But Beh'lial has that whole weakness of if you do roll a 6, you can crit the key, and if you hit the key, you go straight through his armour, straight through his endurance, and just do a lot of damage to him. Beh'lial is also another magic user. The other two, I think they've only got 2 magic users. He has shadow magic as opposed to the dragon magic, so they're going to be firing spells at each other as well. If I had to put my money on it, who do I think is going to win? I think this is a tough one, to be honest. I think it very much depends on if and what Beh'lial summons out. But assuming it's fairly average, I think the edge is going to be with Xiaoru. I think it's got a really big health pool for Beh'lial to get through. On the other hand, I think if Beh'lial gets out the right creatures that are resistant to like the AoE and whatever, Xiaoru could have a bad day, because Xiaoru is not going to be doing much damage each turn to Beh'lial, because there's just not much going to be getting through that defense, even with this sort of AoE. So yeah, my money is he's probably Xiaoru, but I could see Beh'lial having it as well. I don't know, I'm really on the fence on this one. But yeah, Xiaoru, I'll go with Xiaoru. I'll just get the 2 models. There we go. So this is Xiaoru, Dragon King, from the original Wave 1 of Forbidden Fortress. Nice big dragon model. So we'll be fighting on the home turf of Xiaoru in the Forbidden Fortress. Put him over there, taking up his 9 squares, like that. And then in the other corner, the sort of original XXL is Beh'lial, last of the Shadow Kings, from Cinder. There we go, he can have his 3 squares over there. Okay, so yeah, let's get on, let's see how they do. And there's an interesting one here that I've been playing it, that we roll for Xiaoru's initiative at the start of every round, because most enemies that have a random initiative say that on them. They say roll peril dice per initiative or whatever. I realise that Xiaoru doesn't actually say that, so you could interpret it as Xiaoru's 2 peril dice initiative is fixed at the start of combat. I haven't been doing that, but actually I think that might possibly be the correct interpretation. But I'm going to keep going with what we have been doing, so we're going to roll at the start of every round. I just think there's no start of fight things from either of them. No, I don't think there's any start of round things from either of them. No. So let's see what Sharu's initiative is this turn. And the answer is 9. So it's going to go first. And the start of its initiative, we have one of these dragon magics. So we get a random spell, and the random spell is Terror from the Sky. Every hero currently adjacent to the caster immediately takes 1 hit with damage equal to the caster's current initiative. That isn't any of them because they were still at distance, so as a bit of a whiff, never mind. Then go to Sharu's turn. Of course, Sharu just charges down to Beh'lial. We then have 12 dice of combat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We will be hitting on 5 or mores. Sharu, we'll do the sweeping body straight after. Let's have a look at these 12 dice. They are, remember, only 6s are going to do anything. So then it is 1, 2, so that's just 2 wounds to Beh'lial. We then do the serpent sweeping body, which is unless Beh'lial makes an agility 5 or more, he's going to take 9. Oops, it rolled over here, but it is a 5, so Beh'lial is fine. So that's not a particularly good start for Sharu, I don't think. We then go to Beh'lial. Oh, it is at the start of each turn, sorry. Ultimate Source of Scourge of Worlds is the start of each turn. I suppose I better have rolled that. It was a Growing Dread. Let's see what Growing Dread Beh'lial have. Of course, everything's very slippy now because of the new sleeves. Beh'lial did a Lurking Fear. What evil lurks in the hearts of men is known only to the shadows. What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Anyway, yet those lurking fears manifest when shadows are dragged into the light. At the start of the next fight round, add an extra threat card to the fight. Oh dear. Okay, and then Beh'lial, start of its activation, does a shadow magic. Which is going to be Army of Shadows. A horde of deathly shadows rises up from the cracked ground, swirling and hissing with hate. They close in from all sides, tugging on your arms and legs to pull you into the darkness. Each hero must make a strength 5 or more test. If successful, gain some XP as you fight off the shadows. If failed, you're on -1 damage on all your attacks during your next activation. So is Sharu strong enough to 3? No. So Sharu is basically going to do no damage from its normal attacks, and the serpent body is going to be at -1. So then Beh'lial will get to do their attack. Oh, hang on. Yeah. You know what? I'd forgotten the Key of Defiance. Those were technically 2 6s. So let's see if one of those wounds actually struck the key. So we get to roll again, and if it's successful, 5 or more, he'll do more damage. It missed, so he actually completely missed that damage. Mind you, right, Beh'lial's attacks back, 8 attacks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hitting on 4 or more, doing 6 damage each. That is just 2. So 2 sets of 3 is 6. 6 damage to Sharu. I think that's the end of the turn. So round 1 to Beh'lial, very much so to Beh'lial. And now, at the start of the next fight round, add an extra threat to the fight. So Beh'lial has summoned in some friends, and they are Peril Dice Magma Fiends. That's quite appropriate, really. Whilst fishing out enemies, Does Beh'lial, Ultimate Scourge of the World ability, start of the turn? Does Darkness card? Okay, well, we'll do that. Just shuffle up some Darkness from Forbidden Fortress. Take one out. We have, oh yeah, Overpowered. Enemies that are large size or bigger now do +1 damage on all their attacks. So Beh'lial, at the very least, is going to be hitting harder. Peril Dice Magma Fiends, how many? 4. 4 Magma Fiends, bear with me one moment. Here we go. Here's a Magma Fiend. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And they come in with Ambush. And get their card. There's giant stack we've got now. That's one thing I say, if you sleeve up, it generally adds about 50% to the size of everything. Magma Fiends. There we go. When setting this, okay, well that's a bit odd. When setting up this enemy group, even in ambush, select a random exit on the map tile and place his enemies in the spaces closest to that exit. If it was blocked, remove the end cap as a new door. Let's not worry about that. Let's pick an exit, so can't be that one because he's already there. So odds, evens, odds. So they spew out of this door, the door furthest from you as we see it. There we go, 4 Magma Fiends. And they're kind of stuck there. Huh, okay. But they've got 6 damage, they are going to get through Shoryu's health, and they've only got 4 health themselves. They've got 4 defense though, so it's very hard for Shoryu to kill them. But that was the start of the turn. Next, 2 Peril Dice initiative with Shoryu is a 9 once again. So Shoryu first, Dragon Magic. Dragon Magic this turn is Terror from the Sky. Every hero currently adjacent to the caster immediately takes 1 hit from damage equal to the caster's current initiative. So 1 hit doing 9 damage to quite a lot of people. Hang on, let's have a look. It does say hit. Yeah, so smack. Don't have to roll, it just does it. So that's going to vaporise 2 of these Magma Fiends straight away because they've only got effectively 4 defense and 4 health. Even though we're at -1, it's still 8, so it does it. 8 against Beh'lial, defense of 4, so another 4 damage onto Beh'lial from that. Okay, who's it then target? Well, I guess 1 or 2 Beh'lial, 3 or 4 this Magma Fiend, 5 or 6 the Magma Fiend lurking over there. I realise you can't quite see them, but there we go, 6. So it's going to turn and move to attack that Magma Fiend. Magma Fiends normally when they move they spew out like magma on the floor, but they're not really going to get a chance to move here. So therefore everyone takes basically a 9 or indeed 8 because of the shadow magic hit if they don't do an agility. Beh'lial, 5 or more agility, rolls again. The magma, this one Magma Fiend, fails, so it's going to die. The second Magma Fiend passes, so that Magma Fiend lives. Okay, that was the one Shoryu was targeting. So Shoryu now attacks, 12 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's no point in rolling because with the -1 from the shadow magic you can't actually damage the Magma Fiend. So we'll leave that as that. Is then the Magma Fiends because of ambush. So 1 Magma Fiend doing 4 combat hitting on 5s, and if they get a 6 we get a burning. So that's a normal hit and a burning hit. So the normal hit and the damage from both of those is 6 versus a defensive 3, so that is 6 damage. And a burning. Have we got any burnings? I don't need to go to the other tray. And a burning marker. The dragon is on fire. Well, you're fighting Beh'lial, it was probably going to happen. Speaking of which, it's then Beh'lial, who's just going to step up the 1 square. Kind of, can't really, as a tail in the way. Let's rotate that one round, step up and swing. 8 dice, hitting on 4, giving 6 damage each. Just 2. So again, that's another 6 damage. Okay, that's the end of that turn. Start of the next turn. What does Beh'lial do with their ultimate Scourge of Worlds? Here it's a 6. It's a no growing dread. So let's grab a growing dread. What does this one say? Horrific dread. The darkness seethes with evil. As the shadows all around you begin to take on nightmarish shapes, twisting to form your worst fears. Darkness moves 1 step forward on the depth track, etc, 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 etc. Well, we're not tracking that, so that's a whiff. Okay. It is then Sharu's activation. Lose the burning token, take 2 damage. Roll. So roll. Oh, it might not be Sharu's. 9. It is Sharu's. 9. Sharu gets to go first. Dragon Magic. His time is caster immediately makes a free attack using his elemental attack. So we have to take a dragon trait. Elemental dragon trait. Choose one at random. Let's go with this one. We have got Wind. Typhoon. During the next activation, all heroes starting on the same map tile and adjacent map tiles, -2 to move, -1 to their hit rolls. So everyone's at -1 to their hit roll against Sharu this turn. Changes target. So it goes back to Beh'lial because the Magma Fiend is standing is the one that was left. Okay. Does the moves. We then do the Serpent Sweeping Body. 9 damage attack versus the Magma Fiend. The Magma Fiend does not get out of the way, so that's all the Magma Fiends have gone. Beh'lial does not get out of the way, so it takes 9 damage, which is 5 after armour, but we've got endurance 4, so it gets reduced to just 4. Okay, we're not suffering that -1 effect anymore. And I realise I missed off the 2+1s from Overpowered. So each hit from Beh'lial would have done 4 damage rather than 3. So there needs to be another 2 from Sharu. Let's remember that Overpowered. Right. And then Sharu's attack needs to get 6s to do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Come back. 2 6s, so those 2 damage. Okay, I think that's it. So, wait, back up, take 1 damage away. Does it hit the key? 4, misses the key. So, there we go. That was Sharu, then comes Beh'lial, Shadow Magic. Shadow Magic says, a riddle of time, a dark riddle wrapped in the laughter of the fallen king, and the tears of countless souls crushed underfoot by time and torment. Each hero must make a cunning 5 or more test to decide the riddle. If successful, +2 initiative for your next activation. If failed, -2 initiative. Okay, so can Sharu answer the riddle? can. So +2 initiative next time. Kind of worked against Beh'lial there, but never mind. So Beh'lial then has his attacks. 8 dice doing 7 damage. Oops, keep dropping these. Hitting on 4 or more. No, hitting on 5 or more because of the winds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hit, doing 7 damage each, less 3, so that is 4 4s, that's 16 damage. 1, 2, 3, puts us on 38. Not quite halfway yet, but definitely going Beh'lial's favour at this point in time. We can get rid of the Magma Fiends, they don't really take part right now. End of the turn. Start of the next turn. What have we got from the Scourge of Worlds? We get a Darkness card. Let's have this one. This is Death in the Shadows. Roll a d6 for every Ashigaru Alu in the hero party, and roll a 1 or 2 that Ashigaru immediately suffers a gruesome fate. If there are no Ashigaru, immediately ambush attack, draw a low threat. Our low threat is going to be power dice +3 Feudal Bandits. So that is 6 Feudal Bandits come out to play. Okay, Feudal Bandits, as you've seen earlier, they have a variety of different poses. There's the over the shoulder fella, his sword over the shoulder, and there's the weapons, sort of a Kimbo fella, with different kind of weapons, and they've all got different heads and so on. But anyway, 6 of these all pop out to ambush Sharu. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, lots of ambushing. Feudal Bandits, let's now get those out, shall we? There we go, from the Frontier, sorry, from the Feudal Village expansion. So I don't think they've been able to damage. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on, no, maybe. So they +1 combat for each other Feudal Bandit adjacent to them. Okay. But then they've got Overwhelm, which is they are their melee to hit rolls of 6 or more, do +1 damage for each Feudal Bandit adjacent to the hero, including itself. They normally do 3 damage, so if there's lots of them, they'll be able to do damage to Sharu. As they get wiped out by the Serpent Body, though, they'll start to do less and less damage. And they will pretty much, because they've only got a defense of 3 and a health of 5. So they're going to get pretty much crushed by the Serpent Body. Right, so that was the start of the turn. Initiative, when does Sharu go? Sharu goes on 7, which means he's going to be outpaced by the Feudal Bandits this time. They'll get to go first. There are 6 of them, and there is 2 with 1 next to each other. So that is going to be 3 times 6, 18, plus another 2, 20 dice, each one doing effectively 9 damage. So 20 dice doing 9 damage. That doesn't look good for Sharu. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 dice. Not that one. 20 dice, hitting on 4 or more. That's a chunky set of dice, isn't it? Oh, there's a 6. Oh, it's only the sixes sorry that do the extra damage. So it's like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 that are going to do the extra damage. There's a few in there that hit, but they don't do enough damage because they've only got a damage free. So these are each doing, what did I say, 9? Yeah, 9 damage. 5 sets of 9. Reduced by 3 to 6, but endurance says 5. So that's going to be 25 damage to Shoru. That puts us on 40, 50, 60, so we're up to 63 damage. Absolutely took a battering, but now it's +1 to its hit rolls because it's less than half health. Okay, Shoru's activation on, we were on 8 this turn, weren't we? 8. So who's it going to target? Well, it's got to be one of the bandits, so let's go around clockwise starting from this fella as 1. And we've got a 1, so we're going to, yeah, so Shoru just turns around, if I can turn Shoru down, revealing the bandits for a moment. Like that. Turns around. And he's probably going to absolutely obliterate that fella. But first, sweeping serpent body. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Shoru was +2 initiative this turn, wasn't he? Let's back that up. Does that make a difference? 8, 10. Yes, Shoru goes before the bandits. Right, let's back that up. Sorry. So much, I say sometimes there's so much to remember. So let's back that up. Take that 25 off. Shoru goes first on initiative 10 because of the riddle. Attacks that fellow, but first everybody gets to make their agility versus a nothing because dragon magic. Good grief, so much to remember at times. Dragon magic is whipping winds. Every hero on the same tile and adjacent map tiles of the caster is -1 agility and -1 initiative until the start of the caster's next activation. Oh dear, that means everyone has no agility because that's how we've been playing this. And -1 initiative. So that means everybody just takes the 10 damage. Which just obliterates every feudal bandit. No, oh well. They were going to make things seriously troublesome for Shoru, but he just crushed them. Crushed them with his serpent body. Beh'lial takes a hit for 10, which gets reduced by the armor to 6, but then endurance 4 says it only takes 4 damage. So you go to 14. Yeah, they're somewhat irrelevant now. So actually it then becomes the attack. Well, I guess turn herself right back round and swing at Beh'lial. So 12 dice. 6 is the only thing that matters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there is 1 6, which does 1 damage to Beh'lial, taking him up to 15. Okay, oh yes, sorry, did it hit the key? Does it hit the key? It does not, so it doesn't even do that. Right. So it's then Beh'lial's go, himself. 8 dice, hitting on 4 or more to do 7 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 damage, 4 damage each. 5 is 20. So that's 50, 58. Now we're below half hit. End of that turn. Start the next turn. What does the Scourge of Worlds do? 5. Another Growing Dread. Screw this one. This one says, Jealous spirits. Swirling around you, ghostly apparitions begin to materialise. At first they are beautiful, but as the air grows ice cold, they twist and contort into terrifying spectres driven mad by their lust for lost light. Every hero must make a 6 or more test. If failed, your highest gold value gear is stolen or discarded. Well, and whiff. Okay. Peril Dice Initiative for 2 Peril Dice Initiative for Show. Going on 8s, goes first. Dragon Magic. Immediately makes a free attack using its elemental attack, so we get another elemental dragon type. Earth. Select a random hero in 4 spaces. Okay. Every hero touched by a template takes 3 hits that do 2 damage each and ignore armor, so it does not a lot. Bounces off defense. Then gets to swing, so 12 dice, hitting on 4 or more now. Not really matters. Once again, 6 is the only thing that's going to hurt Beh'lial. And there's not a single 6 there, so it does nothing. Beh'lial gets to swing back on its turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dice hitting on 4 or more. Doing 7 per. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 again. There's 7 dice past the defensive 4, so that's 16 again. 1, 2, 3. There. So 1, 3 stats. 74. It's getting close. It's me. I think this is probably going to be Shoryu's first loss. Oh, we didn't do a Shadow Magic. Let's do a Shadow Magic. Okay. Crackling with burning embers, a massive sword made from fire erupts in the spellcaster's hand. The spellcaster immediately makes free combat, free attack against every hero in 2 spaces. They do d6 damage, ignoring defense. Any affected hero may make an agility 6 test to ignore this attack. Okay, so does Shoryu dodge out the way of the sword? Does. Dodges the sword. Okay. Right, and that's Beh'lial done. Start of the next turn. What does Beh'lial do with Scourge of Worlds? He summons a friend. First time a friend coming from his actual summon. And it is D3+1 Takubaki Rifleman. So it is 2 Takubaki Rifleman. Go. Some little back banner wearing squid faced riflemen. They'll set up at the back with shootout as they normally do. Like that. Let's find their card. Talk about your riflemen. Are they going to be able to do anything? Maybe, maybe. So they got armor 5 or more. So there you go. That's what they look like. So they got armor 5 or more, regeneration 2. Darkstone rifles, range 10 shots, 4 damage peril dice, and 2 hit rolls of 6 or more do double damage. So they may cause Shoryu a problem. They also come in with pretty high initiative as well. They got base initiative 6, obviously they're then ambushing to go to 9. That was the start of turn. Right, peril dice initiative for Shoryu is 7. So before Beh'lial but after the rifleman. So the rifleman will then shoot. So that's 8 shots in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Hitting on 4 or more. 6 is doing double damage. There's 2 6s, 2 4s. So the 2 4s do peril dice damage. So that's 2 peril dice of damage to Beh'lial. That is 3 in total. Not Beh'lial, Shoryu. Okay, that is, what's that, that's 50, 60, 70, 72, yeah. And these 2 do double, so that's these 2 dice doubled. So the 4 doubled is 8, less defensive 3 is 5, endurance is 5, so that's fine, so it takes that one. We're up to 82. And then 6 doubled So there's a 6 there, the other one. 6 doubled is 12, reduced to 5 though, after endurance and depends on whatever. And I think that's enough. So 1, so that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 87. And we are therefore done. So, the winner, I helped with some friends in the end, is going to be Beh'lial. First loss to Shoru. He just got shot by some Takabaki. That seems a little ironic, a bit treacherous, but that's where it is. So Shoru, I'm afraid you have your first loss. And it seems the original and so far best is still Beh'lial. Undefeated. Let's see if he can manage the next few rounds he's in to end up with round robin victorious and see if he can go undefeated throughout the whole deathmatch tournament. But there you go. That was Shoru versus Beh'lial.